I'm going to use another tool, which is the trim, so you can see the difference between these two tools. So if I go over this here, you can see that I have a trim, or I can use the typing just a TR. So I'm going to type here TR, and that's bring the trim commands up. So the first thing I have to do is that selecting the reference object. I'm going to select these two objects here and pressing enter. And if I move my mouse over here, you see that whenever I'm on this side, that's going to get rid of the line from this side, or I can go over this side of it and it's going to get rid of that line. So if I click here, that's going to get rid of this line here. So either way, I can just use that line as a reference and start trimming my object. So that's one way of using this. So now I'm going to do the undo, and I want to show you something else. So let's say you are trying to trim some objects in your drawings and you don't know basically which one is going to be your reference. You only know that you want to trim some of the objects. So I'm going to run the command trim again, and this time for the reference object I'm going to press enter. That means every object in my drawing is now going to be a reference. So you can see that if I move my mouse over here, that basically delete that. So using this without defining it as a reference. If I move my mouse over here, that's going to define this line. So I didn't define it as a reference. That's basically AutoCAD. So let me just draw a multiple line here. So I'm going to press here and then draw a multiple line here, so you can see what I meant by defining that as a multiple reference. So let's just start trimming again. So I'm going to trim, and I'm going to go over this piece. First, I have to pass this stage, so I'm going to press enter without selecting any object. And you can see that each side I go, I can edit it, so it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's between two lines, and it can cut this from this side and that side. Again, from here I can trim this side or this side. So it doesn't matter if I go over drawing a window, or if I just go over and click on an object. So both of them is going to working for me in this situation. So I can either go over and then drawing a window, click here, release it, and then click on the other side. That's going to trim it from that side. All right. Same thing is going to be valid for extend. So if I type extend, I can access it from this menu down up here. The first stage is that if I want to use any reference. So if I said no, just all objects are supposed to be my reference. Now, whenever I move my mouse to one object, see that it's used the closest one and the ones that is basically working with that object as my reference. So I'm going to use here, I'm going to extend this part. Then if I go over to the other side, you see that it's going to use this line this time as a reference. Same thing for this line, you can use it as a reference, or this line for the reference. So that gives you some sort of an understanding of how the trim and extend works. They are two very strong tools when you are editing your drawing sets and when you are dealing with the different object in your drawing.